DM from a stupid baby I've never heard from before. Said, "Yo, Rick, you're the only Jewish guy I know. LOL. Any recommendations on where to go in Israel? I'm going soon." So, it's in my DNA, but I'm not a practicing Jew, and I've never been to Israel. So
it's not even a real Jew. It's on his mother's side.
That's actually
makes
me. That makes me a real one.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reaction. Corbin.
I'm Moscow.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter for more juicy content. Think of it on Patreon. Follow us Twitter account. Scroll button. The Jews got some crazy rules about being Jews.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Well, I've told this story before. I worked at a company many years ago that was owned and run by a very devout Orthodox Jewish family. And I remember on a Friday, my first Friday working for them, they came in, they said, "So we understand you're Jewish?" I said, "Well, I am DNA, not like by faith. I'm not a practicing Jew. I'm a Christian, so I guess you could call me a Messianic Jew." He says, "Yeah, but the Jewish, is it from your father's side or your mother's side?" I said, "Both." They said, "But for sure your mother's side." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, we need you to leave work today before sundown on Fridays. We'll pay you for the full day, but we also, on our holidays, you can't work, but we'll pay you." I said, "Okay." Because he said, even though I wasn't practicing, it was important for them to ensure that I was following everything. They were very sweet, but yeah, they've got some very interesting guidelines. Interesting guidelines.
Today we got a song from an upcoming Malayalam film. Here's
Panjara Punch,
from
which is either somebody's fisticuffs or a delicious beverage.
From
Alappuzha Gymkhana.
Alappuzha, Gymkhana.
Lollapalooza.
In these names.
Khalid Rahman. Naslin.
Khalid Rahman.
No. Aniga Vishnu Vijay and Suhail Koya. If I've butchered a name, no, I did my utmost best to not do so. Sincere apologies. Great name for a studio.
Here it comes. Looks more like her than Priyanka.
They're boxing.
They're just doing the choreography. That's what they're showing us. This is behind the scenes. Is this the teaser trailer we saw with the boxing the other day?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, Gymkhana is what it was called. So Panjara Punch is just the song or something like that. The film is Gymkhana, and we saw that.
We saw the trailer.
We saw the trailer and commented on how good everything looked. Again, here, the fight choreography, it looks, I mean, it's spot on. It looks like they're just boxing. That alone makes me want to see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it is that one.
Yeah.
Everything from it looks really good.
It
but
does.
Once again, I doubt we're not going to get it.
I know.
We're not going to get it.
I know. Again, producers, you can send us a password-protected screener. We'll watch it.
Or we'll just watch along it like we do most
a couple of months.
No,
Yep.
it'll be a month.
Yeah.
It's usually about a month, especially for Malayalam stuff.
Yep.
It's about a month. Whether that's smart for them or not, that's up
Yep.
to them to decide.
Right.
But it seems to be about a month usually, then it goes to streaming.
Which I'm good with that with all films. I like the idea of just letting a month go by for
But the thing that
for a
we
theater to be focused on for the first 4 weeks.
that we have here that they don't is that if it's released after a month here, you have to pay for it. You'll own
And
it.
I agree with that.
You'll pay for it and you'll own
Right.
it.
I love that.
India, it's on a streaming platform.
Yeah, I get it. But I like that. I like give it 4 weeks in theaters, then
Well, some things would much more than 4 weeks.
let it be another, well, even if it does great, just let it be still 4 weeks in theaters. Then you do the, $20 to own it. And then at the 3-month mark from theatrical release, you let it just go stream on whatever platform it's going to stream on. That's what I like. I like that stuff. It used to be my stars. When I was a kid,
Oh, months.
it was the fastest a film would ever get to VHS where you could go to Blockbuster would be 3 months after it left theaters. That was the fastest you'd get a film. So many other things happened when I was a kid that y'all had to, you had to wait for, you had to.
You realize I grew up in the 90s, so we also had to wait for those.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the other things that, like, there's so many other things that happened that taught me
90s
delayed gratification,
90s
and patience.
being the greatest generation of all time.
Yeah, that's not true.
It is. It's definitely not yours. We were in the
It's
middle.
the boomers, right?
No, it's they are the worst. Literally destroyed.
Hear that, Harrison Ford?
Literally destroyed everything, and just keeping it for themselves. Anyways, that's not what this is about. The 90s was the transition generation. We were the same in terms of like in our early years. We grew up with there was no cell phones, there was
Right.
no nothing.
Correct.
And then when we got to our teens, we grew
Correct.
up with the technology.
Correct.
As opposed to the one generation came after us, the technology was always there.
Right.
But we grew up drinking out of the hose, playing outside.
You're
and all
the
that.
last to have experienced what was normative for me throughout my totality of my childhood and teen years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was big. Two big things. That was a big deal when I got a pager and I could be reached wherever and do the callback on the phone. Remember doing that with your agent and everybody? Ooh, yeah, I have an audition. I got to call my agent back. And the other thing that happened was the advent of, I remember my mom gave me, because at the time I needed it to go on auditions and know where I was going and not have to use the map book.
Yeah.
She bought me what is today just your, hey, Siri, take me to, AMC, whatever. And it takes you there. It was this system that would navigate. You have to type in the address and it would navigate you. It wouldn't show you a map. It would just tell you in 5 miles, take this thing.
Yep.
That became outdated real quick.
MapQuest.
But back when I was a courier, that was when I was a courier for FedEx, none of that technology was around. So you know how I had to do my route? You take your map book, your Thomas guide is what they were called, and you go into the room and you make copies of the route you're going to do, and then you put it up on the truck and you highlight and you mark the stops you have to go to. And you'd get back and you do, okay, here's where I'm going to next. Here's where I'm going to next. And it was all from memory and all off the frickin' Thomas guide pages.
It's terrible.
And then you'd scan packages. You could see this on an old Seinfeld thing when a FedEx guy delivers something to the front desk. There was no technology. It was all paper. So you had the air bill that had a 3-ply thing, and they'd have to sign for it, and you tear it off, and you had to turn in your air bills at the end of the day. Pain in the tuchus.
Anyways, that looked awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the film.
Very much. The fight choreography looks as good as it gets.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about it down below.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never forget.